Before we begin, imagine opening your door on the coldest night of the year, and finding a stranger standing there with a trembling child in her arms, not knowing that this moment will change your life forever. Stay with me until the very end, because what happens next carries a message about kindness that might stay in your heart long after this story ends. And if stories about hope and humanity move you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe so more people can hear stories like this. The wind howled through the narrow streets like it was searching for somewhere to rest, rattling loose window panes and carrying with it the smell of rain and distant smoke. Daniel pulled his worn jacket tighter around his shoulders as he stepped onto the creaking porch of the small house he rented on the edge of town. His boots were muddy from a long shift at the warehouse, his back ached, and all he wanted was to step inside, check on his sleeping son, and collapse into bed. Being a single father had taught him to measure life in small victories: a paid electricity bill, a warm meal, a quiet night without worry. Ever since his wife passed away 3 years earlier, Daniel had been both mother and father to 8-year-old Noah, learning how to braid messy hair, cook simple dinners, and hide his fears behind tired smiles. As he reached for the doorknob, he heard it, a soft knock behind him. Daniel turned slowly. Standing at the edge of the porch light was a woman, drenched from the rain, her dark coat clinging to her frame. In her arms was a little girl whose face looked pale and drawn, eyes half closed like she was fighting to stay awake. "I'm sorry," the woman said, her voice barely above a whisper. "My daughter is sick. We have nowhere to go tonight." Daniel hesitated. He didn't have much. Barely enough for himself and Noah, but he saw the desperation in her eyes, the way she held the child as if letting go would mean losing her forever. "Come inside," he said quietly. The small living room smelled of soup and laundry detergent. Daniel helped them sit near the heater while he fetched blankets. Noah, awakened by the voices, peeked from the hallway, rubbing sleep from his eyes. "Dad," he asked. "It's okay," Daniel said gently. "We have guests tonight." The little girl introduced herself as Lily, her voice weak but polite. Her mother said her name was Maria. She explained that they had been traveling, that Lily's illness had worsened, and that they had run out of options. Daniel didn't ask too many questions. He simply warmed some soup, watched as Lily managed a few spoonfuls, and then prepared the couch for them to rest. Later that night, as rain tapped softly against the windows, Daniel sat at the kitchen table staring at his bills, wondering how he would afford extra groceries, medicine if needed, and still keep the lights on. But when he glanced toward the living room and saw Lily sleeping peacefully for the first time, he felt a quiet certainty that he had done the right thing. Over the next few days, Daniel took Lily to a local clinic using what little savings he had. The doctor prescribed treatment and rest. Maria tried to protest, insisting she would repay him somehow, but Daniel shook his head. "People help each other," he said simply. Noah quickly befriended Lily, showing her his small collection of toy cars and telling her stories about school. Their laughter filled the house in a way Daniel hadn't heard in years. Yet Daniel noticed something curious about Maria. Despite her worn clothes, she carried herself with quiet dignity. She often stepped outside to take phone calls, speaking in low tones. Sometimes she looked at Daniel with an expression he couldn't quite read, gratitude mixed with something deeper, perhaps guilt. One evening, as Daniel returned from work, he found Maria standing in the kitchen, tears in her eyes. "You didn't have to do this," she said softly. "Most people wouldn't." Daniel shrugged. "I hope someone would do the same for my son." Weeks passed, and Lily's health improved. The house felt warmer, fuller. For Daniel, the presence of new voices eased a loneliness he hadn't realized had grown so heavy. Then one afternoon, a black car pulled up outside. Daniel watched from the window as two well-dressed individuals stepped out. They approached the door with polite but purposeful expressions. Maria froze. "It's time," she whispered. Daniel opened the door cautiously. "Are you Daniel?" one of them asked. "Yes." The woman smiled kindly. "We've been looking for Maria and Lily." Daniel turned, confusion written across his face. Maria stepped forward slowly. "Daniel, there's something I need to tell you." She took a deep breath. "My name isn't just Maria. I am the founder of a global company. Lily is my daughter. A few months ago, we left quietly to escape a situation that became unsafe. We wanted to live without attention for a while. But Lily fell ill, and I couldn't risk going to a hospital where we might be recognized. Then we found your door. Daniel blinked, trying to process her words. I never told you, she continued, because I wanted to know if kindness still existed without expectation. And you gave us shelter without asking for anything. The visitors explained that they were part of her security and legal team, relieved to finally locate them. Daniel felt a strange mix of shock and relief. That evening, Maria sat with Daniel at the kitchen table. You gave us more than shelter, she said. You gave us peace. I would like to help you, with your home, your son's education, anything you need. Daniel was quiet for a long moment. I didn't help you for a reward, he said gently. But if you truly want to help, maybe there are other families like mine who could use support. Maria smiled through tears. That's exactly why I hoped you would say that. In the months that followed, Daniel found himself working with Maria to create a foundation that supported single parents and children in need. His small house was renovated, Noah received opportunities Daniel had only dreamed of, and Lily remained a close friend, visiting often. But more than the material changes, Daniel discovered something deeper, that a single act of compassion can ripple outward in ways we may never foresee. Years later, Daniel stood on the same porch where it had all begun, watching Noah, now older, laugh with Lily in the yard. Maria joined him. You changed our lives, she said softly. Daniel shook his head. We changed each other's. As the sun set, casting golden light across the quiet street, Daniel reflected on that rainy night. The knock on the door, the choice to open it, and the reminder that sometimes the greatest miracles arrive disguised as simple opportunities to be kind. And if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that even the smallest act of kindness can change a life, take a moment to like this video and subscribe, so together we can keep sharing stories that bring hope to the world. Because somewhere tonight, someone may be standing at a door, hoping it will open.